Good evening and welcome to the Kick Off, the first episode of the Rugby League show at covering Bundaberg and the Wide Bay area. Tonight as a guest I have with me Chris Tanser. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much for having me.
Chris is the president of the Wide Bay Bulls, which is a new position. Chris, how did that come about?
Yes, it is a new position. Wide Bay Bulls has been somewhat dormant for quite a few years due to lack of available funding and some interest. But recently it's been given a new life and I've accepted the responsibility to form a group of keen people to take it forward.
And how's it been so far?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
As with anything new, there's a lot of ground you need to cover, but being involved with the kids and the coaching staff that were already in place when I came on board has been great. The staff we've got are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. So it's a representative game. How does it help with the pathways?
Yes, well, the three age groups that make up the Wide Bay Bulls at the moment is the under 16 Cyril Connell, the under 18 Mal Meninga, and the under 19 Harvey Norman girls. So, because it's a state league competition, they're playing other state league sides, and so they're going to come under the notice of talent scouts throughout Queensland and potentially from other parts of Australia due to the fact that they're playing in that state league competition. So I see that there's a strong pathway opportunity for those participants that choose to become involved.
Yeah. So we had 3 games at Salters Oval this past weekend against traditionally strong Sunshine Coast side.
Yes.
Starting with the girls and the under-19s.
Look, it has been tough for the girls. There's only 6 games in the comp that we play, and that's the season for the state league age groups. But they have played with a lot of character. They've struggled for numbers at times through injuries, and of course young girls and young boys, they have other commitments at times.
Yep.
So they can't always be there for training and the game. So that makes it difficult. But I'm very proud of the girls. The 2 boy sides,
Yep.
I thought they played very, very well, and they have done through the whole competition.
Yeah.
They've only been, a whisper away from a win. But maybe that'll happen this weekend.
Hopefully. So I saw the under-18s play that game. That was the last game, was it?
Yes.
Yes. And they were on top for quite a bit and then just fell away at the end. So there look some very promising young players in there. Anybody been snapped up by professionals clubs or the local teams?
Not at this time. But we've got next week's game, and I know that we will have some representatives, is my understanding, from the Dolphins who are coming up to that game at Harvey Bay. So there's opportunity, and you're right, there are some really good players in that group.
So 3 games this weekend?
3 games this weekend.
Harvey Bay?
At Harvey Bay.
Against Ipswich?
Ipswich, yes.
And how've Ipswich been going?
Ipswich are a very strong side. Ipswich won the schoolboy, under 18 schoolboy competition last year. And they are a very good side. They're well drilled, well coached, but we'll compete and give it our best.
You're looking for sponsors.
Sponsors, if I've got the opportunity, I'd love to thank the sponsors we've come on board so far. So we've got
Are you actively looking, or you've got some?
certainly looking for more sponsors.
Okay.
Right across the region, the catchment area, which is, South Burnett, right through the Fraser Coast and here. So any sponsors that are interested coming on board, we'd love to have them.
Yeah. So, what's the plans going forward?
I suppose there's a short-term view and a long-term view. The short-term view and the goals are to maximise the playing capabilities and skills of the players that we're attracting into those 3 age group sides. But longer term, we want to develop those skills to the point, A, that they can find a pathway, but B, so that they can potentially participate in another state league competition, being the Hastings Deerings Colts side, which is an under 20 competition. Again, that's a state league competition, and I'd like to think that we can get there probably in the next 5 to 7 years, but longer goals I see is to have a host plus a senior side.
In the Wide Bay area?
Yes. Wouldn't that be great?
It'd be awesome. If everybody gets behind it and pushes, I think it could be a good thing.
Definitely.
And it could happen with the
Look,
right people.
as I said, we've been very fortunate in the support we've had. The schools have been very supportive. All of the other clubs, they are very much behind us continuing to develop this opportunity for the youth of the area.
Thank you very much, Chris. And we'll have a break, and then after the break we'll be talking about the A-grade games. I know you watched one of them. If you're interested to stay and talk about that.
Happy to do that.
Join me at the desk now is local rugby league personality, Stephen Plath.
I don't know about the personality, Dean, but thanks for having me.
And we're going to be talking about the weekend's games. Starting off with Bundaberg Pratt Brothers versus Harvey Bay Seagulls. So, good win for the boys at the weekend?
Yeah, I think so. They're a bit shaky to get started, if you ask me, to be honest. A bit of drop ball there, but promising signs, I would say.
First game nerves?
Yeah, I think so. They did have a trial against Valleys and Gladstone, but which showed pretty good promise as well. We've still got a few blokes to come back into the side after that, I think brothers do. So, yeah, all signs are looking up. However, I think when it comes to Harvey Bay, they're sort of struggling a bit, I think, for numbers, Dean. It's a bit unfortunate what's going on in the off-season down there, but, surely they can only get better from there.
Well, we had an interview after the game with Billy Card, and he said they had 45 at training on the Thursday. That's the first time they've had so many people at the game.
Yeah.
We also had a talk to Tyrell. But was the coach happy with the combinations? And
yeah, I think so. Spoke to Hemo after the game. All in all, for a first hit out, I think they went really well. Just drop ball and stuff to start the game, which we said before. But apart from that, once they start hitting their edges, I think we look really well. Mitch Taylor and Matt Craven, they've pretty much already got that combination together on that left edge. Yeah. With young Corey outside them, so it'll only get better as the year goes on, I think.
Brothers Junior, Will Simmons.
Will Simmons, yeah. He really impressed me, actually, to be honest. I thought Will handled it very well. I actually congratulated him after the game and told him that. We're down a few fronties, but I think you'll find that Will be in and around that team all year after that performance on the weekend.
I think during that game, Harvey Bay showed there was some potential in that team. If they've only trained together once, I can see them. See them making a big dent in the comp as the season goes on.
Yeah. They just need more time, I think.
Yeah.
They've struggled in the off season with numbers to train and stuff like that. But definitely there is some promise there. They did score the first try off the back of drop balls from brothers and stuff like that. So, you know, like if they can build pressure on teams, they're more than capable of putting points on. That's for sure.
When they come out in the second half,
Yeah.
I thought they showed a lot of resolve. you
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
After the first half
Yeah.
battering, you know, they could have come out and
Capitulated and then
given
would
it
have been
up,
a
but they
different
didn't.
story,
They
yeah.
kept going, and
yeah.
I thought that was very notable. Yeah.
Bodes well for the season.
Yeah,
This year.
Yeah.
So we had we interviewed Tyrell Priestley at the end of the game. Right, first game of the season. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was a bit scrappy out there actually, bloody hot. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Not a grand final, but it makes up for a bit for the loss.
Nah, yeah, it does. Yeah, we had some sort of rivalry out there, but yeah, come along with the win. It was pretty good.
A few debutants out there and a few juniors coming through. How do you think they went?
Yeah, it's good. We got a couple of young juniors, a couple of new faces there, and it's coming along good.
The team all bonding together.
Yeah, team's bonding good. Yeah.
And who have you got next week?
I don't know actually. I haven't seen the draw, but yeah.
I just looked at it and forgot myself. So, man of the match from your side, who do you think was your best
I'd
better
say
players?
out of our team, I'd put down Taylor Barrett. He just moved the ball, got us into spaces, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Matty Craven come back to the club.
Yeah, Matty Craven come back after, I think it was about 12 years since he's been back. It's good, but good to see him back in the colours.
Great, thank you, and good luck for the rest of the season.
All right, cheers, thank you.
That was Tyrell making a few comments there. Do you agree with his comments?
Yeah, I think so. Dean, Taylor Barrett was outstanding, to be honest. So by picking up Mitch Taylor and him moving into 5'8" this year, which was a good buy for brothers, I think. They've pushed Taylor Barrett, from the halves previously. He's just coming back from injury, a bad knee injury where he missed a whole season last year. And pushing him to 13 is a great idea. You got that bloke in the middle, tipping on, getting to the line, you know, finding a forward or finding an edge, and then being able to link with the halves. So in those sorts of instances, a bloke like who's come out of the halves is a perfect option. And physically, in defence, he's very, very solid.
One of the better games I've seen him play.
Yeah, I agree.
He played with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
For a player that had come back from a long injury stint, it's like he was just resuming from yesterday.
No problem at all. I think he's always been sort of confident player. But yeah, you know, you got to remember he's also a premiership winning halfback. So you know, blokes like that you don't lose it up here. No. Just because you got a sore knee. So I think he played very smart.
Never mentioned Mr. Dependable, Kevin Sheriff.
Well, Kevy, the ex-skipper actually, Tyler's taken over the job now that Kevy's moved away. Great man for our club, brothers, for a long, long time. I think him coming back, he's not playing any footy in Brisbane, so he'll be here. I think we'll get him for about 6 or 7 games this year, and then finals. They'll have, he was actually back up next week because they're coming up for a bit of a holiday for Easter. So we'll get him the first 2 rounds, which is fantastic considering the shortage the brothers are having there in the front row at the moment, just with a few blokes still carrying suspension leftovers from last year. Yeah.
So from Harvey Bay, we also caught up with Billy Carter, and he had a few words to say about the Seagulls. Game of the season, a bit of a tough time today.
Yeah, it's been a tough pre-season with the boys. Started the season off with like 4 boys turn up to training today at the start of the season, and we've had 45 now turn up, so we're sort of just getting together to gel together, but all the boys put effort in today and can't be more proud of them.
Yeah, not too bad for a team that's been lacking a few players. You got some new guys coming along?
Yeah, so pretty much in that game there, we had probably 14 boys playing A grade for the first time. We had a lot leave either for other commitments or other clubs. So we've had to, we're in that rebuilding stage now and trying to get it all to gel together and find our combos together.
So you got an home game next week. You got something to work on.
Yeah, basically it's just a lot of just getting our cardio up a bit. Like we were a bit slack by the end of it, like the heat obviously. Got a later game next week, so hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. But yeah, home game, so hopefully the boys will turn up for each other and yeah, put it in.
Okay, thank you and good luck for next week.
Too easy, thank you.
That's Billy's take on the game. You agree with that?
Yeah, totally. You know, as he said, started out the season with 4 people, turning up the training, and now they're up to 45. They can only go up from here.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep, I think they might trouble a few teams as the season goes along.
Definitely.
So that game out was followed by the East Magpies and the Maryborough Wallaroos. A 32-22 game.
To East,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, well, I did speak to someone who's involved with East during the week, and their take on the game was that they sort of had the game in their grasp, but a lot of silly errors, a bit like the Stafford brothers. First game blues, I guess.
Yep.
Sort of kept Wallaroos in the game. But Wallaroos are a dangerous side. You keep them in the game too long,
Yeah.
and anything can happen. And we've seen that happen year after year after year.
Yeah. So I watched that game myself, and it was right about the first half.
Yeah.
They were pretty dominant in that first half.
Yeah.
But Maryborough, the Wallaroos, really came back and gave it to them, led by Morris Blair. He was kicking, passing, getting there. He was really getting them moving. And as you said, they're a dangerous side, and from that they're only going to get better again. So they're going to be somewhere abouts.
Yeah, years gone by, we've all seen it. They can put 16 points on you at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
3 sets of 6, and next thing they're within touching distance, and changes the whole aspect of the game then.
Yeah. So we caught up with Jaden Smith from the Magpies at the end of the game for a few comments from him. Right, first game of the season, how did you find that?
Bloody tough in the heat, mate. It was good our first hit out though, so the boys will get a lot of fitness out of that. But yeah, pretty happy with it. I suppose defending for so long. Yeah, first hit out, pretty happy, eh?
You were well on top in the first half. You let them back in it a bit into the second half. A few of the combinations not quite happening.
Yeah, we've got a few new boys in the team from all around the place, and yeah, just no combos really at the moment, but we'll get better. It's a lot better from our first training session and stuff together, so I'm pretty confident we'll be good next round as well.
Okay, Coach got some things to work on?
Yeah, a lot of things to work on, late hits mainly as well. Giving away silly penalties in their half as well, so hopefully we can fix that up before next week, because I heard our opponent next week's pretty good.
Who's your opponent next week?
I think Waves.
Waves.
Yeah.
So you're going to stay and watch the Waves, see how they're
We're
going?
going to say, yeah, first year in this competition, so I'll definitely be sticking around to watch them.
Okay, your first year in Bundaberg?
First year in Bundaberg, yeah, yep.
All right. Thank you for your time, and
No worries, mate, thank you.
good luck throughout the year.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So that's Billy's, Jaden Smith's take on the game.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
he's
no.
a new lad to town.
Yeah,
So,
very good. Well, is he at Harvey Bay at all?
I don't know where he's come from.
Okay.
I'm not familiar.
I don't know
Yeah,
if it's his first time in the league or
I can't
not,
say
but,
that I've seen too much of him, but spoke very well there on the camera. So
He did, yeah. And for Maryborough Wallaroos, we caught up with Morris Blair, and Morris gave it to me in this interview.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm a bit rusty there the first half. That's a bit expected, you know. We only had limited opportunities to train together, and we've had a few new players come into the squad today. So overall, yeah, quite happy with the second half, especially.
you seem to be getting back into it in the second half.
Yeah, well, we sort of didn't really have much of the ball there in that first half, and when we did get it, we made quite a few errors. So second half, the pass stuck a bit more, and then we got a few tries, so built a bit of momentum.
I think you'll be getting better with your combinations start working.
Yeah, definitely, and combination comes with time. So a bit rusty that first half, and then passes started sticking a bit the second half there.
Typical first game of the season, bit of drop balls, people getting in each other's way and things.
Yeah, and it's a bit humid out there today too. It's a bit hot, so when you hit on the ball a bit there and the arms are a bit slippery, a few of the balls start popping out. So yeah, it's something we can work on during the week at training.
Okay. Coach happy at the half time?
I am the coach, so yeah. Yeah, just sort of try to keep everyone positive and make them realise that they're sort of scoring off our mistakes. So we knew once we cleaned our mistakes up, got our fair share of the ball, we knew we could score some points, and that's what we did in the second half.
Okay, thank you, and good luck for the season.
No worries, thanks mate, appreciate it.
It's pretty spot on with his assessment there, Maurice.
I think so.
Yeah.
And isn't it great to see a player of his quality come back to the country?
Oh, well and truly.
Yeah.
Well and truly.
And, you know, the young members of that Wallaroos team will benefit no end from having him part of that organisation.
Oh, definitely. I think they've been rebuilding there for a couple of years, using up a lot of young 18s has been stepping up, but they've also been winning 18 premierships. So those kids have earned their spots. On top of that, they're a couple of years into their A-grade careers now with the experience of Morris Blair coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do with them, I guess.
The fella there, he had some strong runs at the game. Did some good takes on the line.
Yeah.
They got held up a few times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So they were close. They were close to getting the biscuits there.
Yep, and that's what they can do to you. They can turn a game on a dime.
Yeah. Right then. So across the waves, Tigers versus West Panthers. Now I didn't see that game on the day because it was anniversary weekend, and I had to go home and do the anniversary thing.
Well, I skipped out of Salters early actually too, Dean, to go back to the club to celebrate a win with a few of the boys.
But I did watch the game today, so on the TV.
From what I understand out of the game, very, very tight. West played the way West play and slowed the game right down, played it at their own speed.
West dominated the middle. They've got big forwards, and Waves had some young guys in the middle, and Waves has always just bullied them out of the game. But into the second half, Waves had two early chances to increase the lead. One guy took a bomb that they'd put up, turned round, he had three players there with the open line and passed, and somebody spilt the lollies.
Yeah.
And they had another one in the second half where the prop was going forward and he was going over the line, but he got hit on the way through and dropped the ball as he hit the post. So
they are a couple of coach killers right there.
So we've got no interviews with them at all, but I think that the Tigers, as the season goes on, are only going to benefit from that game.
They're genuine contenders, hands down.
But West's big forwards, if you try to take them on up at the middle, you're not going to get anywhere real fast. Not with young kids coming up.
Well, that's right. West have been the same sort of side. The way they go about their footy is they can smother you in no time. They're very good at controlling the speed of the game to suit their big forward pack.
Yeah.
But then they've got lightning speed out wide, who can just cut you to ribbons in no time. A lot of teams are going to have to really have a decent look at how West go about it, especially early in the season, if you want to get a victory over them, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's all the games we've covered for this week. Pretty good day's football.
Very enjoyable.
For the first game. As always, on the first game, you get a few loose passes and drop balls.
Yeah, all that'll tighten up, Dean, I think,
But I think it's going to be a really good season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you can go to footy and not know who's going to win. It turns into a really exciting prospect for the whole year. That's what the West Panthers ATW scoreline, they're 18-14. That's the type of footy you like to see.
Yeah.
Tough battle in the middle, close contest. It could go either way. So the fans will be in for a ripper year, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. Well, That's all the games covered for the weekend, and we're going to go to a break. I'd like to thank you for coming along, Chris, to give your views on the Wide Bay Bulls. And after the break, we'll be catching up with Neil Redfern he's the president of the Northern Districts. And welcome back to the Kickoff at the Rugby League Show. And our second guest tonight is Neil Redfern. He's the president, long-standing president of the Northern Districts. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you, Dean. Steve.
Yeah.
How are you finding the job this year?
Oh, look, yeah, I suppose after a number of seasons now, yeah, it's always an exciting start. It was a bit of a slow start this year for us. We had a few hurdles to cross to get there. Was not my intention to be there, but on getting the season underway, momentum's starting to build up nicely now, and we had our first round of games on Sunday. As everybody's found, it was a nice hot day, and welcome to rugby league. Yeah.
No, I think it's very honourable, mate, that you stepped back into the job. I heard a bit coming out of the Northern Districts this year, and that you were ready to sort of step away without anyone filling your shoes. There wouldn't have been a competition, is that correct?
That's right. To be compliant, to affiliate with the Queensland Rugby League, to comply with the Office of Fair Trading, you need an executive body. We didn't have anything but a treasurer standing, but now I said I'd come back on board, get the season started. We've got probably a number of people that might take some interest later on, and we've now got a secretary, and that's really sealed the deal for us, and we're going forward nicely now. So same with some of the clubs. It is hard finding volunteers in this day and age in all sports, but some of the clubs have dug deep, and now we're getting a few new people, younger people on board, and there's a lot more enthusiasm and drive picking up.
Good stuff.
That's good to hear. So, Northern Districts, what does it bring to the communities out there?
Right, yeah, well, we feel unique. We're a very small competition, but that's what we do. We take the game to the small communities, take it out there. It is pretty close to what you'd call a brand of bush football. We try and deliver something that an aspect of positive sport in the small communities. Probably from week to week, the communities like to have their name on the map and be responded to by people coming and visiting them. This is an opportunity by bringing the game out there to the communities. Yes, our grounds aren't large capacity grounds. Most of the people like to just come along, fold a seat out and sit back and watch the games. And it's just that comfortable scenario that we bring to it.
That's good. So as you said, your season kicked off this weekend. A successful day?
Yes, we started off out at Southland on Sunday. It was a very successful day. We had a pretty good crowd out there. Yes, the heat was felt by everybody on and off the field, but I think everybody was ready to get back into rugby league. That was the feeling. Right?
Yeah. So you've got 5 teams this year, and Gingin had the bye this week.
Yes.
Yeah. So first game, Miriam and Avondale Tigers.
Yes, Miriam Vale being the premiers from last season. Avondale didn't have quite their season they would have hoped for. They usually up there challenging pretty well, but they just ran short of a few blokes by the end of the season, and they were starting to, just on the cusp last year, they were starting to really show some form, but couldn't quite make it over the last couple of rounds. But they looked very good. It was a bit of a dire battle, but the scoreline, it was a bit of a scoreathon throughout the game.
46-26.
Yes.
To Avondale.
To Avondale.
To Avondale.
Avondale, yes.
Interesting. Looked
yeah.
like a bit of a different side. I saw some photos of the squad
Yes.
during the week, and looks like the Avondale have a few new players.
They have. They've probably been very reliant on a few regulars for a long time now, and a few new faces in there. They seem to gel quite well, very quickly together, and I don't know if they've had any pre-season trials or anything like that, but they certainly went about their business quite well, and really Merrinvale weren't far off the mark. There was a couple of blokes missing, I think, there, but they still, you wouldn't think Merrinvale would be very far away come final time. They just seem to toil and get the job done, and then you suddenly see they're hammering on the grand final spot at the end of the season.
Excellent.
So you welcome back Isis Devils
Yes.
to the Northern Districts. They've been out of there for a while, and they managed to get a win against the South Keelang Sharks, 2022.
They did. It was a very tight game. Again, I think the late afternoon fatigue started to get in. Few opportunities for both sides to probably take the game and broke away a bit, but they both kept well in touch with each other. A couple of wayward conversions and things like that that just didn't usually follow the course, and we ended up with a 2-point game.
I think Isis Devils will be a good side this year.
They will.
They've got some players coming out of the BRL who've gone back, 4 or 5, I think, from the Brothers Grand Final side last year. Have gone back to play for Isis. So I'll be looking for them once they get a bit of fitness under the belt. Blokes like Rossi Blair.
Well, Ross was, he had an outstanding game from what I saw of it. He sort of led by example from go to woe, and bagged himself a couple of nice tries.
Oh, there you go.
It's their own team, and they've been waiting for this for quite a few years.
I believe their first home game up at the Furnace next
week.
Saturday.
It is next Saturday night. Apparently the word is the town's getting extremely excited. They're really looking forward to bringing the game back into the town, and there's quite an atmosphere building up for this one.
So I looked on the internet trying to find the tag game results.
Oh yes.
So you also have that competition.
The Women's League tag.
Women's League tag.
Yes. I did see. I did look for that too, Dean. Actually, it normally I normally keep in contact with the Facebook posts that show all the results from the week. I don't think I've seen it this week. I've been a bit busy myself, but
I'm not sure. Anyway, we had 2 games this week. We'll be having some weeks with double headers. Sometimes we'll break them down. We're just trying to thin the games down a bit over the season, and but Gingin opened up their account. They've been premiers the last 2 years. Well drilled side. The Avondale Tigerettes were fairly thin on numbers, and it was I think 26-0 just after half time, but they lost a couple of more players, Avondale, and weren't able to finish the game. The other game was the Agnes Water Marlins against the ISIS girls. That was an excellent game. It finished up about 10-8, I think, and 10-4. And ISIS, first time on the field, accounted for themselves very well. I think all the girls can only get better, and it's probably going to be good that Jinjin's going to get a bit of challenge on them. But it's a great opportunity. We thought we were going to get the fifth team in there. The Sharks came very close at putting the team on the field, but just couldn't get the numbers quite over the line. But there again, they're pretty keen to be there in 24, sorry. Yeah. Well, I arrived in Bundaberg several years ago, got landlocked at Gingin in the 2013 floods, and then it was a circle around through taking a stint looking after the Bundaberg Rowing Club's facilities out of Bucca, then got a bit of involvement with the rugby league up here with the Northern District. So, but I'd had 28 years down in New South Wales with the Group 7 in New South Wales, and so when I come up here, it wasn't probably on my horizon to get back in, but you know, things like that happen, and
rugby league's that type of game, isn't it? Once it's in your blood, it's very hard to get it out.
They'll be grateful that you didn't depart and leave them
I commend you for doing what you've done, especially this year after wanting to retire and go back to travelling, mate. Without you stepping up, no competition. So, you know, all those clubs, I think, will really appreciate what you've done for the competition, especially over the last. How long have you been there? 14 years?
No, I actually took the presidency in 2016. I had a couple of seasons still working with the committee before that, and it's been quite an incredible thing to. And say, well, we were only passing through on our planned trip, but then we decided, well, you know, there's a bit too much more Bundaberg we want to learn about, and so we end up buying the place here, and that's where we are. So we will be still based from Bundaberg, but yeah, we're going to try and continue the journey we should have done back then.
I will. All the best on your travels, and
thank you.
I think we've covered about everything tonight on the show, so we'll finish, and we've got no results from South Burnett or the Central Burnett because their seasons haven't kicked off yet, and the juniors don't start until after Easter.
When is their round one, Dean, for the South Burnett? Do we know what that is?
I think it's after the 47th Battalion.
Oh, right, okay, sure. So that'll be May Day long weekend.
I would imagine so.
Okay, very
so
good.
We'll cover those games later in the year.
Excellent.
So thank you for joining us at the desk.
Dean,
thank you very much. Neil,
Steve.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate
for
it.
coming in at short notice.
Good phone call at lunchtime today, Pino, but that's okay, mate. That's okay. No problem at all.
Thank you very much. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week.